Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to Light Shine Desserts, where you can get your daily dose of baking, the Word of God, decorating, and much, much more. Today, we are going to be again doing some more cake decorating practice. The other ones were just for birthdays, but this is one that I wanted to try. I'm going to try doing a fondant cake, and I've only ever done one once, and that was like the cool cartoon type of cake, so that wasn't really like me covering like a full regular size cake. It was just like a slice type of cake, and that was like maybe 2 years ago. So I never actually got into practice with that. I don't think I'm ever gonna do it for my business, but I just wanted to see like what it would be like. So I'm just using a cake mix because I did have some, and I wanted to get the practice in without having to like go through the whole process of making cake and all of that. As well as I also did do a couple cupcakes because I did want to try out more cupcake decorating techniques. So I did do a couple cupcakes on the side. And we're just going to do it 4th of July themed because this was on 4th of July that I made it. And I was already planning on making it that day, but I forgot that it was 4th of July. So I was like, okay, I don't really have to think of like a theme or anything. I can just go over on that. So this is just about to burst because I did just use like the Ziploc bag that I had kept this in instead of like a piping bag, and I guess I squeezed too hard instead of making the hole bigger. But besides the point, so it's just a vanilla cake mix, and then I had vanilla buttercream from like frosting I had for my mom's cake, and then also the Hershey drip that was on top. I used that inside, but that was already pretty thin. So inside this cake, it is pretty thin when it's at room temperature, but it still tastes fine. So I just did a crumb coat. I didn't worry too much about it. I got it pretty smooth. Instead of smoothing it out with the actual scraper, I just used my little spatula thing just because that helped it stay and get smooth better. And I didn't realize that the cake was slanted until I was putting it into the fridge, so that's too bad. But yeah, as you can see, I am smoothing it out with the scraper, but it kind of is like taking a little bit too much, so I just decided to go back in, add some more frosting, and just use the spatula to get it as smooth as it can be, which again, I wasn't really worrying about it too much just because I was just doing this cake for fun, so it doesn't really matter about the whole thing. I also saw that you should do like the fondant work on top of a fully coated frosted cake, but I just did a crumb coat, but it still turned out fine, but maybe you would have gotten some more frosting inside. So the colors, we're going to obviously do red, blue, and white. And I didn't want to make it too red to where you would get that super bitter red taste. And I do know that there's like tricks where you can melt the frosting and then let it get to room temperature or chill again. But I didn't want to go through that whole process because that does take like maybe an hour to 2 hours to get back to regular frosting consistency. A funny thing also, we had ordered another pack of food coloring, but then we got 12 boxes instead of just one box. And because this is used for like food consumed things, we couldn't return it. So now I just have 12 boxes of food coloring. And it would have been better if it was like sprinkles or something that it runs out pretty quick. But this lasts me like months. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those all. Hopefully I can give them to somebody, but we'll see. So for the cupcakes, I try to do like different designs. So instead of me just doing like rosettes or like a swirl, I use the different colors and different piping tips to kind of see like what type of designs I could do with them. I should have probably used the smaller star tips because when like trying to do like the rosettes or the little dollops with the 1M tip, it could have been like better and more cleaner if I had the smaller one instead of this. But with this piping tip, I forgot what it's called, but the one with like a lot of lines, it's harder to like get like different designs out of it because it really can only do so much. Like the little dollops was okay. And I used this new piping tip, which it's not new, but like I haven't used it before. And I don't really know what it's necessarily for. It could be for like leaves and stuff, but I mean, I still got some good stuff out of it, but the cupcakes could have had a better design if I used like another one of the star type tips or just one that wasn't really unique in itself. But again, it still worked out perfectly fine. So if you're ever doing desserts for like a treat box and then you're gonna have a good arrangement of cupcakes and it might just be like plain vanilla like this, but then the colors might be different. If you're gonna do designs like these, you want to make sure that they kind of all tie in together, so like the colors and like the color match. But then you also want to make sure that like maybe the designs, some of them might be a little bit similar but still are different, and again still have like a different uniqueness to each one of them, but they want to all look put together. So like I had half of them, they were kind of like in lines, and then the other couple ones were more different. So I tried making my own fondant because the fondant that I had, it was too hard, even though I had barely ever used it, so I had to throw that away. And I tried using cornstarch and powdered sugar, but that just was making it stick extra more. So because I didn't have vegetable shortening anymore, because I had that in my fridge for a long time and it's not expired, I don't think it was when I threw it out, but I had it there for like a year or plus. But besides the point, so I used oil and it got the job done. Like it came off of the mat, it rolled well, but yeah, it was making it have a type of shine, and I did not cover this well. Like I usually would do like where you kind of wrap it around the sides and then add something on top, but I didn't know if that would work how I wanted to, like smoothness wise. So I tried to cover up the little bad parts with stars, and it looks okay. Like generally if you saw it from far away, you'd be like, oh, that looks kind of nice. And again, it was kind of slanted, so that kind of also made it look a little wonky, but in the end it still looked good for like my only second and first real cake with fondant, and it did taste good too. So that was it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, tips, or things you want me to make in the future, feel free to comment down below, and have a blessed week. Bye.